What's going on with the YouTube? Fight fans all over the world. It's your boy, the realest of the real. Yes, sir, I said it. Real Talk Boxing. It is a privilege and honor and a major blessing to be back with you beautiful people yet again. I seen something interesting on Boxing News 24. Terrence Crawford believes that he can beat Canelo Alvarez and says that Errol Spence should refrain from going up and challenging Canelo Alvarez. Here's the deal. Crawford feels like he should be pound for pound #1. And I think every elite fighter feels that, you know, but you have to be logical about it. You have to use logic. I like Crawford. I think he's one of the best welterweights out there. He has an amazing showdown coming up with Shawn Porter, which is a very, very dangerous fight. Now, a lot of people think Crawford is just going to dog walk Porter, mollywop him, murk him. I'm not one of those people. I do feel like Crawford should win this fight. It ain't going to be easy. It ain't going to be easy. But that's for another video. Love both fighters. Shawn Porter is a dog. He's an atomic dog. And he's not an easy fight for anybody. I don't care what nobody says. Now, let me touch on Crawford saying that he can beat Canelo. You know, Crawford is freaking 37-0. 28 knockouts, I believe. Perfect record. For him stating that he believed that he could beat Canelo Alvarez. As a matter of fact, he said, I believe I could beat anybody in my division and fighters close to my division. And how cool would that be if he could back those words up? I think he can beat anybody in the welterweight division. He has a chance of beating anybody in the welterweight division. Moving up to face Canelo is totally different scenario. Night and day difference, in my opinion. First of all, the reason why I do not believe Crawford would beat Canelo Alvarez is because of the level of opposition. You put his resume against Canelo's. The experience goes to Canelo. The size, the harder puncher, the ring generalship, I believe, goes to Canelo Alvarez. Canelo has 56 fights. 1 loss, 2 draws, and 38 knockouts, I believe. That's a good record, man. And, you know, and in my book, you don't have to have a perfect record in order to be pound for pound the best fighter in the world in our era. So right there, those points, those key factors, to me tells it all. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Crawford would fare better against Canelo Alvarez than Errol Spence Jr. But I think Crawford should practice what he's preaching to Errol Spence and kind of be telling himself that I shouldn't move up and challenge Canelo Alvarez. Now, I'm not saying that he's stating that he's going to move up and challenge Canelo. I'm just saying he was asked if he could beat Canelo, and he said, yeah, of course. You know, I can beat any of these guys. Crazy to me, man. Crazy to me. But, you know, you have to be confident in your ability. But the size differential and the punching power and everything else that I've brought to you guys' attention, it's just there. It's facts. So, but I understand when he says it would be a horrible, horrible mistake for Spence to move up and try to face Canelo, because there's been talks about that. Ain't never, you know, there's nothing etched in stone. But it's just been talked about, you know, just mentioned. And, you know, Errol Spence wasn't against him. He said he'd do it. And I believe Canelo wouldn't, you know, pass up the opportunity to make a big payday against a smaller guy who stands right in front of you. Right in front of you. We all know Errol Spence and his boxing style, his fighting style. He stalks his prey. He's flat-footed. He likes to be stationary. He likes in-the-pocket style fighting. Now, if you stand right in front of Canelo and bang with him, that's pretty dumb. That's pretty dumb to do. If Errol Spence, wanted to last 12 rounds with Canelo, which I don't think that's possible. If he wanted to actually survive 12 rounds with Canelo Alvarez, he better get on it like he got on it against Mikey Garcia. He actually showed us another side of his arsenal. He boxed Mikey Garcia, and he got a lot of criticism for not getting the smaller Mikey Garcia out of there. But Mikey Garcia ain't no punk. So I didn't understand why people were disappointed in Spence for not being able to get him out. I knew there was not going to be a knockout. I knew that fight was going 12 rounds. Mikey he ain't no pushover. Mikey's good. He's really, really good. Been inactive for a while. But I knew Errol Spence wasn't knocking him out. But if he wants to even survive 12 rounds with Canelo Alvarez, you better be boxing like you boxed against Mikey Garcia. But how long can you keep that up? Because as good as Mikey Garcia is, he ain't Canelo Alvarez. He's not. So, Crawford, I agree with what you're saying about Errol Spence. Bad fight for him. He's going to be right in front of Canelo. He's going to try to trade with Canelo Alvarez. He's too big. He's too strong. He has too much experience. And he has a stacked resume. But I could say the same thing about you, not necessarily standing in front of Canelo, but Canelo catching up to the smaller Crawford. One way or the other. So Crawford, I love you. I think you're a heck of a fighter. You're right in what you're saying about Errol Spence. But I don't necessarily agree with you when you say that you can beat Canelo Alvarez. I'd have to see it to believe it. But it was just a question he was asked. I saw it. It piqued my interest, so I wanted to ask you guys about it. Let me know what you think. Comment down below. Let your boy Real Talk know. As always, respect all. Fear none. God bless. Till the next time, Real Talk Boxing. I'm up and I'm out of here, baby. Click, click, boom.